Namaskar, a very good morning and greetings of the day to all my audience, to the viewers. This morning, I am uh, Nandini Kapur, and I am going to speak in this video for the first time. My experiences of communication that my husband sent immediately after his death. It was a normal day, 31st May 2013. Professor Vijay Kapur, formerly an IS officer of 1977 batch, had gone to his office in the morning uh, with a more or less normal health condition, but he never came back. He died of a sudden cardiac arrest in his office around 2 o'clock on 31st May 2013. In the evening, when the body came back to our house, and throughout the night that I watched over his still body, waiting for the funeral next day, I had a strong feeling that he was watching me, rather watching us closely, everybody in the house, and he was trying to reach out to us. I had this feeling. So, naturally, I wanted to know what really happened when he lost his life, what really happened uh, to his to his well-being, and there was a strong hunch that possibly he was also trying to reach out to us in a way that was understandable to us. It always happens that when you lose a loved ones, you are keen to know about the whereabouts of the loved one after he or she has transited to his or her spirit life. And you never know the same feelings the person who is now in the spirit body has on the other side. This is what happened to Nandini and Vijay. Incidentally, I am Nandini Kapur. It all began immediately after his sudden death. After his sudden death, and throughout that night, I had his mobile telephone with me because I was texting to some of his associates, friends, known ones, uh, the news about his passing. Suddenly, I realized that someone was setting or resetting the time on the mobile. So I had a strong feeling that he possibly Vijay was there around and he was trying to make his presence felt, make his presence felt by setting and resetting the time on his mobile telephone. After his funeral, on the very fifth day from the date of his death, we left for Haridwar for the immersion of the ashes. So, when we were about an hour from Haridwar, our car had stopped to pay some travel taxes, and I suddenly looked at the telephone, Vijay's mobile, and I saw there was a call from a number which is Delhi University number, and the time recorded was 7:30 in the morning. I wondered who could have called from Delhi University, a government university, at 7:30 in the morning that very day. Nor did I call. There was any necessity for me to call at 7:30 that morning. I had nothing to do after my husband died, much to do with his office. And that's true the day we were leaving for Haridwar for the immersion of ashes. Later I found out that it was a number from the examination branch, and at the time of his death Vijay was very much busy because it was height of summer, like every teacher in an Indian university is busy checking examination scripts. So he was busy checking scripts, he was in constant touch with the examination branch. So it was a part of his routine to be in touch with the examination branch. I really wondered till today who had made that call on that morning. If I remember, it was 5th or 6th of June 2013. It all began there. There was a series of such experiences. The next experience was sometime in July that I was coming back from my office to pick up my son from the school when he used to stay back for sports activities. My car was stuck in a Driver was driving, and we were stuck in a jam on one of the arterial roads of the city, and there was no flower seller around. And because the AC was on, so the window panes were very uh, closely shut. There was a beautiful smell. There was a beautiful smell of flowers. There was a beautiful smell of flowers. I just couldn't make out because almost 99% of the cars around me, it was July, so pretty hot and humid. So everybody had their windows shut, nor was there any flower seller around. So, where did the scent come from? I had an instinct feeling, and in fact, I asked my driver that, "Do you smell something?" He too said, "Yes." It was a beautiful smell of a flower. So, I had an instinct feeling that Vijay was present. In fact, it is known as one of the 38 signs of the presence of spirits. One is olfactory, that is spirit manifestation through fragrance. Through fragrance. Yet another experience. On a morning, sometime in July itself, Saturday or a Sunday, when I didn't have to go to office, uh, the attendant was making tea, and I was waiting in the sitting room. There was a sudden crashing noise, noise of crashing uh, utensils. So I thought possibly the attendant had broken, a crockery or slipped something. So I called him, but he said nothing had happened in the kitchen. Kitchen was just next to the sitting room. And he thought that there was something had happened in the drawing room. But nothing really had happened in the drawing room. There was a huge crashing noise. That was the time. So nothing had actually crashed, but both of us, both myself and the attendant, had heard the crashing noise. That was the time that I was very keen to find out someone uh, who would have explained all these experiences of mine to me. And I came to know about Reverend Gaurav Tiwari, the president of Indian Paranormal Society. He was at that point of time, in sometimes in August 2013, was shooting for a TV show in Australia. I got an appointment for September. I went to his office in Dwarka in New Delhi. It was a very pleasant experience of meeting him because let me tell you, like many of us, none of my close relatives had believed me that all these things were happening, all these experiences that I was going through were actually real. They thought, most of them thought I was I was imagining all these experiences. Nothing in reality was actually happening. And I had possibly not accepted that my husband had gone, had died. It was Reverend Gaurav Tiwari who believed my entire story and told me that, all these noises that you keep hearing, there were so many more in the house, like suddenly someone was drawing a curtain or something like that. Curtains. There were a lot of curtains in the house, and hence, uh, you should. He is what he said. What Reverend Tiwari told me, that my husband was trying to communicate, and all these noises were nothing but his energies, because we are in energy body after our death, which is known as ethereal body. Actually, it's energy body. So he advised me to learn some scientific methods to reciprocate the communication with my husband, with Vijay, so that the communication link could be established. It was no longer to remain one sided, that he was trying to reach out to me. It is Reverend Gaurav Tiwari who brought my story to the public, to the world rather, and he arranged for a TV show in Aaj Tak TV channel. In the description box, the link is there. Those of you who are interested, please look up. It was editor Sweta Singh who had come to my place and shot that interview with me, as well as a kind of a short film, a kind of a documentary film was made out of my experiences of afterlife communication with my husband Vijay. It was televised under telecast under Adbhut Akalpaniya Aviswasniya series. Prime time on a Saturday, 30th January 2016. It was telecast on television. So the link is there. You may please have a look at this story of mine. So, in our first meeting, what Reverend Tiwari advised me was to learn to speak to a spirit, to speak to my husband. This is known as electronic voice phenomena. In fact, he gifted me a small digital voice recorder, which you can buy. Like today, I have one from Sony. It comes for 4,000, 4,500 at the most. So he told me, you start recording a normal conversation, make it for 25 minutes to 30 minutes, and then we will replay and listen to him. So, this is a part of instrumental trance communication. Trance, it is across the two worlds, right? I have written and published a book also very recently, this January 2022, on my entire story, and I will introduce the book to you in my next video. Please have a little patience and wait for it. The title, let me share with you. The title is Messages from heaven, afterlife communication. So, I'm going to tell you about the book in the next video, as well as I'm going to tell you about EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, because some of the recordings yielded wonderful results. I mean, how many of us have really heard the voices of dead people? How many of us have really heard the voices of our loved ones, those who have died, those who have transited? All these exercises of practicing afterlife communication make 2 points. Firstly, it removes the fear of death, that with physical death we come to an end. The second point, it proves that it's a healing touch. Acknowledging the presence of our loved ones who have transited or who have physically died and communicating with them certainly is going to bring a closure to our restlessness, what has really happened to them. So it brings healing touch as well as the fear of death. Both are accomplished when we talk about messages from heaven, afterlife communication. I'm going to speak in my next video about the EVPs, as well as I shall introduce my book to all of you. With that, I come to an end today, today's session. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you, all the viewers. In this pandemic, take care, stay well. God bless you all. Thank you.